Okie dokie, the frequently asked questions. Okay, so what this page is just, it's basically a bunch of questions students ask me repeatedly. I've mentioned a lot of these things in class already, and part of this is going to be included. I'm going to take a step backwards here to your schedule page, or excuse me, yeah, your schedule page. Let's go back out, just start again. Okay, Mark. All right, let's go to the frequently asked questions page. Now, what this is just a series of student questions that I've collected over the years. I'm going to go into this one in great detail in a second. I'm not going to read all these to you today, mostly because your first optional homework is actually a true or false quiz on the entire website. You've got 20 questions right here. They're worth a half a point each for 10 points total in value. And all of these are true-false questions that are answerable by watching the videos you've been watching and or reading through this frequently asked questions page. Okay, what, there's no textbook for the course? Cool, that'll save me some money, blah, 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 a lot of questions. What's this W thing I see? But what if I've got a legitimate emergency and can't think? All these questions are important, deserve answers. I don't want to read them to you right now because there's too many of them to read. So when you have time, scroll through them and then look at that optional homework if you like and answer the true-false questions. The big thing that I really want to talk about right now is how do I turn things in? This is important. This is important. This is Blackboard, okay? And to making sure we can actually get things into Blackboard. Now, the tech assessment is one way to make sure that we can get things into a digital format into Blackboard. But what I did here was I created a Blackboard page that I'm going to visit in a second. The first thing you want to realize, though, is don't print off any of the documents, write answers in them, rescan that document, and submit. Let me show you what I mean. If we back up to the schedule page again, if you go to, for example, the mandatory tech assessment, that's not that one. Let's go to the quiz on quiz points. If you open this document, it's got a series of questions that follow some introduction, okay? The parts you have to answer are questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're each worth 2 points, and that sums up to 10, and that's how much a quiz is worth. What I don't want you to do is to print this and then write your answers in this space here. There's not enough space in these spaces to squish answers in. If you try, I can't read it. Don't do that. What I want you to do is one of two things. Either create a brand new Word document and answer the questions in a Word document, or hand write your stuff onto a piece of paper, take a picture of that, and submit that as your work. So don't give this back to me. Just give me the answers. And this goes for every single assessment. Don't print out the documents that I've got linked on the schedule page. You create a new document and go from there. Okay? Now, as far as that goes, back up to here again. Here we go. As far as what kind of documents, okay, Blackboard infuriates me. Absolutely infuriates me in that there are certain kinds of documents that cannot be submitted to Blackboard, or at least I can't open them. So here's an example. Ones that do work. Microsoft Word documents. They either have a suffix of .doc or .docx. They work great. A PDF file works great. Absolutely fine. An image file, like JPEG. JPEG is fine. TIFF is fine. .tif, that also works. Here are some that don't work. HEIC documents. I don't know what's up with HEIC documents. It's a Mac image file, and Blackboard doesn't like it. I can't even open it. So please, if you have a Macintosh or if you have an iPhone and it saves things in that format, either change it to a different format or just don't send them to me. Send me a different kind of file. While we're in here talking about HEIC, there's one I didn't list here. If you do word processing on a Mac, I believe the word processor is called Pages. I can't open a Pages document either in Blackboard, so don't send me that. Don't send me Pages documents. Please don't send me zipped folders. I can't open those in Blackboard. Don't use the submission text box. This is one of the more infuriating things. It's a function that Blackboard gives you that I can't comment on. It's just so stupid. Don't send me links. I can't open links from Google to Google Docs or other things like that. So basically, to play it safe, digital files that Blackboard will accept, docx, that's Microsoft Word documents, PDF files, JPEG image files are the most common. You can also do TIFFs, I believe bitmaps, if anybody's still using those. So very few kinds of files will work in Blackboard. Don't send me other ones. Now, if you do your work on scrap paper and take a picture of it, you're probably going to be okay, so long as the camera you use takes a JPEG. Probably going to be okay. Okay, so I just made this page just to make sure that we just have an idea of how to get things into Blackboard, especially if Blackboard is new to you. Anybody that hasn't used Blackboard before, I am truly sorry you have to use it now. It's a terrible program, and I hope we get rid of it soon. But until then, we're stuck with it. Okay, so then the idea is you create that document. I recommend to my students you keep it into a folder on your computer somewhere, and then you submit it before 10 a.m. on the Friday of the week it's due. At 10 a.m. Friday, on whatever clock Blackboard uses, the folder that you're going to submit to disappears. That's it. It disappears. That means you can't turn it in anymore. That means if it was a project, you're going to get a 0 on it. If it was an exam, you're going to get a 0 on it. If it's a quiz, you're not going to get credit for it. If it was homework, you're not going to get credit for it. So I would recommend setting an alarm if you have a hard time remembering. I know 10 a.m. Friday is a weird time to have things due, especially if you're used to people at COCC very often. They set their due dates to 11:59 p.m. of whatever day. And the reason they do that is because that's the default time in Blackboard. It's not my time. I use 10 a.m. Friday. And the reason I do it is simple. I want to grade that stuff and get it back to you on that Friday. So 10 a.m. Friday are your due dates. Cool? All right, so that's the FAQ page. There's more in there that I want you to read, and then you can take care of that first optional homework assignment. The last 3 links here are really not that important for right now anyway. Enrichment is just a series of good links I've collected over the many, many years I've taught math. The outcomes are the college catalog description of the course, and the college policies are the things I have to have in there by law, none of which is interesting for the math part of our course. All right, I hope these videos weren't terribly boring, and I hope they gave you plenty of information that you need. Hey, if they didn't, make sure you drop in to our Zoom sessions for your class at your class time, and we will discuss them there. All right, y'all, take care. We'll see you soon. Stay safe.